Good evening. Welcome to the news at 7 on NTA International. We're live in Abuja. I'm Ruth Aguele. Let's start by bringing you the headlines. Locals foil abduction attempt at primary school Birningwari, Kaduna State came under daring attack by bandits Monday morning. Not less than 0.5% of Nigeria's GDP will henceforth be allocated for research and innovation. And World Trade Organization commits to support Nigeria to meet infrastructure gap. A primary school in Rema, Birningwari local government area of Kaduna State came under attack by bandits Monday morning with a daring attempt to abduct pupils and teachers of the school. Abdullahi Mohammed reports that the bandits also attacked all the villagers and rustling animals.
Just when the pupils of Rema Primary School, Birningwari local government area of Kaduna State were about to settle down for lessons of the day, the bandits struck. Their attempt to abduct the pupils were thwarted, but 3 of their teachers are unaccounted for.
And following thorough checks, we can verify that no pupil was kidnapped.
The Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruan, also handed over 2 teenagers rescued from the bush by the military to the chairman Chukun local government area where they were abducted from.
Friday, they were arguing among themselves about money issues. So one of them were killed among themselves. So when one of them were killed, so the rest now said they are going back to where they came from, which is Zamfara State. So then on Saturday night, all of us wanted to go to Zamfara State. So their boss now said, no, me and him with 2 others of his men should stay back first. If my parents will bring the money, though. If they did not bring the money on Tuesday, we are going to Zamfara.
So many people that has been so kidnapped never made it. But we're so happy he's whole and hearty, and he's going to be reunited with his family.
Kaduna State, Aruan says, is doing more to secure the release of all persons held hostage by bandits. In Kaduna, Abdullahi Mohammed, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari Monday hosted an audience the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, with the hope that despite robust support Nigeria gave her candidacy for the position, she earned it with record of performance at home and abroad. The president said Dr. Okonjo-Iweala has put Nigeria further on the world map. He lauded Nigerian women once again, pointing to key positions they hold like Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, and many others. He said the same way government would encourage the youths so they can be ready for the challenges of the future. WTO DG Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala thanked President Buhari for the pulsating support she received from Nigeria in the race for the position. She appraised the president of the opportunities for Nigeria in the global organization as well as the challenges, stressing that WTO will do more to help Nigeria. In a related development, Nigeria will be supported to meet up with the infrastructure gap affecting it through the initiatives and intervention of World Trade Organization, as the Geneva team led by Director General Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala said in an engagement with Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister. Usman Aliyu has more to tell us.
It's another opportunity for Nigeria, a mixed economy, an emerging market with commitments for expansion in manufacturing, financial service, telecommunications, and other vital sectors of the economy. Some of the challenges affecting Nigeria in present global economic realities include low participation in global trade and deficit in her infrastructure, even with large youth population, making it third in the world. But with her influence and capacity, the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, said Nigeria will secure her rightful place in the global trading.
Nigeria has to produce more, add value to its products, and export more. Right now, Nigeria has 0.3% of world trade. and 19% of Africa trade. I mean, you could see that as very small, but you could also turn it around and see it as a big opportunity.
Still have the ambition, you still have the energy and the drive and the commitment to continue doing and to continue giving. And it is a great blessing for the world and for Nigeria.
This government is ready and willing at all times to give her all the support that she will need to make a success of our assignment.
It is expected that this engagement will make Nigeria push for trade policy review and preferential tariff. In Abuja, Usman Aliu, NTA News.
Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, say Nigeria and Africa must focus on value addition to attain relevance in the global trade scheme. On her first official visit to Nigeria, Dr. Iweala expressed optimism that Nigeria and Africa can leverage on the Africa Continental Free Trade Area to lean forward and make economic gains. Leah Katungba Batunde completes the report.
Of the total volume of trade transactions around the world, Nigeria accounts for only 0.33%. While major players continue to advance, Africa is being confronted by the challenge of raw materials exports with little or no value added. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Adeni Adebayo, the first to receive the visitor, came armed with a wish list targeted at making trade more instrumental to the Nigerian economy.
We look forward to outcomes that take into account our development priorities and support Nigeria's efforts for diversification and modernization of the economy, as well as sustained growth. Your Excellency, I also wish to draw your attention to our capacity difficulties, which continue to undermine our effective participation in the multilateral trading system.
We must not forget our commitment to sustain and enhance the ongoing dialogue and action on women in trade. As a firm believer in the power of trade to lift developing countries, including Nigeria, out of poverty.
I want to encourage all the youth. We'll be trying to see how we can support you through various platforms we have and various capacity building. And also with finance. You know, trade finance is another thing. You know, many of these youth will need access to finance to be able to trade.
At the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, discussions were centered on trade facilitation, blue and green economies, as well as the transition plans targeted at diversifying the nation's revenue streams.
We're just set now to be able to start utilizing gas to drive economic growth and development. So we want to support us, and we have this on the agenda for COP26, to campaign for gas to be classified as a transition energy. Even if it is for the limited period up to the next 20 years, it will be useful for us.
Okonjo-Iweala, visibly elated, thanked Nigeria for paying off financial obligations to the WTO.
I want to thank Mr. President, the Chief of Staff, for focusing on this. This really made us proud because, you know, to field a candidate when you have arrears is not, but the Honorable Minister and the team worked so hard. And I want to share with you, they not only cleared their arrears for 2019, they paid for 2020 and put an advance against, paid for 2020, 2021. And now we're a little bit ahead because they advanced some money for 2022.
Nigeria is the first country visited by the new WTO Director General after assuming office at the beginning of this month. In Abuja, Leah Katumba Batunde, NTA News.
Well, the successful conduct of the online voting system adopted by the African Union is a proof of the ability of the Commission and member states to find and implement African solutions to global problems. The newly elected and reappointed commissioners of the African Union took oath of office at a virtual ceremony. Adebola Brooksland Sunday reports that Nigeria's ambassador Bankole Adeoye, who took over from Seso Umar Minata Samate, was one of them.
and to discharge my functions and to regulate my conduct with only the interest of the Union in view, and not to seek or accept instructions from the government of any member state or any authority external to the Union.
Two remaining portfolios, which are education, science, technology and innovation, and that of health, humanitarian affairs and social development, are to be elected in July this year. On the global scene, World Health Organization says there is no evidence of AstraZeneca vaccine side effects, just as Beijing experiences worst sandstorm in a decade. Let's join Uche Ugochukwu for details.
The World Health Organization says there is no evidence that incidents involving blood clots are caused by the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. In a statement, the WHO said it was reviewing reports relating to the jab, but it was important that vaccination campaigns continued. Germany and Netherlands on Monday joined several other European countries in suspending vaccination as a precaution. A third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic is threatening parts of Europe, forcing governments to reinstate restrictions first issued 1 year ago. A spike in cases in France, Italy, Germany, and Poland have been blamed on new variants of the coronavirus. In other news, the crisis in Ethiopia's northern Tigray has hit health facilities, as nearly 70% of them have been vandalized and equipment looted. A report by medical charity says the facilities were deliberately attacked to make them non-functional, although the Ethiopian authorities say most health services have been restored. In the meantime, the global confirmed infections tally has surpassed 120.5 million. Nigeria's 120 new cases pushed the country's total positive cases to 160,657. Away from health matters, thousands of women gathered outside Australia's parliament and across the country on Monday, calling for gender equality and justice for victims of sexual assault. The March for Justice rallies were spurred by a recent wave of allegations of sexual abuse, discrimination and misconduct in some of Australia's highest political offices. And Chinese capital Beijing was covered in thick dust on Monday as it experienced what its weather bureau called the worst sandstorm in a decade. The storm caused an unprecedented spike in air pollution measurements and hundreds of flights were cancelled. The severe sandstorm reportedly caused 6 deaths and left dozens missing in Mongolia. That's it from here. I am Uche Ugochukwu.
A look at ICT. A minimum of 0.5% of Nigeria's GDP will henceforth be allocated for research and innovation. This is to fast-track meaningful development following the awareness that the sector is critical to the economic growth of the country. Well, this came up at the 5th edition of the Technology and Innovation Expo held in Abuja. Justin Bem Unyi reports.
This year's Expo, which comes with a theme Science, Technology and Innovation for Economic Recovery and Sustainability Amidst COVID-19 Challenges, is aimed at showcasing research and development results of inventive minds in the country to facilitate commercialization. President Muhammadu Buhari, represented by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who declared it open, notes that the present administration will continue to support the science, technology and innovation sector by expanding the opportunities that abound in the sector. And this is in line with Executive Order 5, which was inspired by the recognition of the vital role of science, technology and innovation in national economic development, especially in promoting domestic goods and services.
Today, I urge all researchers, inventors, and innovators who are participating in this expo to be steadfast, as the government has confidence that your results, your products and services will help make Nigeria a truly great nation, respected all over the world for its exploits in science and technology. In the past few years, we have also made considerable improvements in the budgetary allocation to the ministry. This has helped increase research and innovation with the aim of achieving sustainable development. We're happy that this has been achieved in line with the decision taken at the African Union's Executive Council in 2006 to establish a target for all member states of 1% of GDP investment in research and development in order to improve innovation, productivity, and economic growth.
For the Minister of Science and Technology, the Expo has significant impact on the nation's route to achieving self-sufficiency and self-reliance.
As you go around these pavilions, it will be clear that we need to use the key of science, technology, and innovation to unlock the door of prosperity for the progress and the happiness of all Nigerians. Our people are creative. We need to encourage them.
3 best students of the 774 Young Nigerian Scientists Presidential Award competition were presented prizes and offered scholarships to study any science and technology-related discipline in any Nigerian university up to the PhD level. The expo will end on Friday, 19th of March. In Abuja, Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
All right, let's go on a short break. We're back.
What limits you? Nothing. Who defines you? No one. Where can you go? Everywhere. With unlimited super-fast internet access, free Intel-to-Intel calls, and crystal-clear quality conversations, you can do and be whatever you want to be. Intel.
Thanks for staying tuned. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 says no adverse side effects have been recorded since vaccination against COVID-19 commenced in the country at Monday's briefing. Well, the task force urged Nigerians to continue to adhere to the precautionary measures against COVID-19 despite the availability of vaccines. The PTF said the ban on international travels was lifted, having met with safety protocols, adding that vaccination against COVID-19 is going on smoothly in states and no one who desires to be vaccinated will be left out.
It is my hope that citizens not lose their fear of this terrible disease and not to take needless risk in handling it. Hesitation in seeking help exposes patients to dangers and reduces chances of better results. Those who test positive and feel ill are therefore advised to report to a treatment center promptly.
Although the number of cases are declining globally and in Nigeria, there are also countries that thought they were out of the woods, have also started their vaccination efforts, but are now seeing a resurgence of cases. So we must keep our eyes on these things. For example, in Brazil, as you know, there's a new variant that's causing a lot of challenges, the P1 variant. And we've seen a really steep increase in the number of cases. Today we heard that Brazil had the largest number of cases in a single day by any country.
In other news, the federal government has described Asari Dokubo's claim of forming a Biafra customary government as wishful thinking and a figment of his imagination. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed said this in an interview in Lagos. Let's hear more from Anthony Forson.
Reports across media platforms have it that Asari Dokubo has declared the formation of a Biafra customary government. In reaction to these reports, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says Nigerians should discountenance such comments.
I'm sure you've all heard of the theater of the absurd. That's the only thing, that's the best way I can describe it. If Asari Dokubo wants to form a phantom government and run a phantom government, I think he's free to do so. This administration will not be distracted. We have so much work to do that we are not keen on, giving any attention or any time to, to a joker like Asari Dokubo. I think he's just looking for attention.
Lai Mohammed added that Asari Dokubo should better be seen as a comedian on stage doing what he knows how to do best.
So you just take it as one of these, entertainment things. I mean, the beauty about Nigeria is that it's never dull. There's always one thing to entertain you. And I think it just will pass like that.
Asari Dokubo had on Sunday declared himself the leader of his Biafra customary government. In Lagos, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Staff of the National Theatre Igamu, Lagos have been assured of job security and will be carried along in the MOU signed between the federal government and the Bankers Committee, that's the new investors. The Minister of Information and Culture gave the assurance at a meeting with the management and union leaders in Lagos. Once again, Anthony Forson reports.
Before now, members of the union have expressed fears of a possible layoff and outright sidelining by the new investor. Putting to rest the fears being entertained by the workers, the minister explained that the investor is only investing for the good of all and have no ownership right.
Very important. You are not on their payroll. So they cannot say they need 20 or 30 or 10 tomorrow. Not on their payroll. You're on the payroll of federal government. Where federal government can say we want to cut down. And I've given me the assurance that if we did not retrench anybody in 6 years, why would we even when things are difficult, this government does not believe in retrenching anybody. So there's no fear. We're not their staff. They can't decide our promotion or our welfare. And if you want to employ more people, it's our business. It's not their business.
Lai Mohammed maintained that with the level of decay at the National Theatre, federal government cannot carry out the rehabilitation of the edifice.
After more than 40 years, to get the National Theatre back to international standard. So please, I seek for your cooperation. If there's any problem, please tell the GM, he will tell me. I would respond. If it means coming to Lagos, I will do so immediately to meet you. But please, let the contractors do their jobs. Please cooperate with them. We don't want to be seen as people blocking progress.
The explanation of the content of the MOU brought some relief to the workers. The General Manager and Chief Executive Officer, Professor Sunday Adodo, expressed appreciation to the federal government over its desire to bring back the lost glory of the National Theatre. In Lagos, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
On security, troops of Operation Lafia Dole on clearance patrol along the Kukawa-Mongono Road, 14 kilometers to their base, sighted Boko Haram ISWAP gun trucks and swiftly commenced pursuit. A statement by the Director, Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Mohammed Yerima says, with support from the Air Task Team of Operation Lafia Dole, several terrorists were eliminated, their gun trucks destroyed and arms recovered. Unfortunately, one officer and 3 soldiers paid the supreme sacrifice, while those wounded are currently receiving attention at 7th Division Medical Services, Malari in Maiduguri, Borno State. All right, next is Sports Update.
The zonal finals of the Principals Cup have been fixed for March 18 to 22nd, while the national finals will hold between 26 to 31st March 2021. Students will compete in athletics, table tennis, and football.
It is meant for students in secondary schools, students who are actually identified by their principals. We want to discourage using non-students or mercenaries in this program so as to achieve one of the key objectives of getting talents from this program.
General Secretary of the Nigeria Football Federation, Mohammed Sanusi, says the election of the Federation's president, Amaju Pinnick, into FIFA Council is a welcome development as the nation strives to reclaim her rightful place in the scheme of things.
Amaju has the capacity and the capability to bring in many Nigerians into football administration.
Staying with football, Enyimba International Football Club of Aba departed Nigeria on Monday for South Africa ahead of their CAF Confederation Cup second group game against South Africa's Orlando Pirates, built for Orlando Stadium on Wednesday.
I see their chances as being very, very bright in the group stage. So meeting the South African team man to man, I think Enyimba has the players that can prosecute the job.
The two-time CAF Champions League winners go into the fixture in high spirits, following their 2-1 defeat of Al Ahly Benghazi last week. And that's Sports Updates. I am Tamara Ebiwe.
And we're done. Thank you for your time with us. And don't be wary in the fight against rape and rapists. Together we can win. I'm Ruth. Aguele. Bye.